Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about all my tips, tricks, and advice about working remotely as a bookkeeper. Hey, my name is Morgan from FinePoints.biz and I love helping you get organized. I'd love it if you stick around and subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I've been working remotely for about 6 years and I love it. I wouldn't want to go back to an office setting at this point in my life. As you might imagine, it's super flexible. I can work from anywhere, I can work any time of day, but it can also get kind of lonely. So I'm going to talk about potential issues that you might have and how to solve them, as well as just some of my experiences and tips that I found along the way. Alright, the first thing you want to think about is licensing. So I do recommend it for a bookkeeping business that you create an LLC, which is a limited liability company, and that just helps protect your own assets from your business assets. So like, for example, if you got sued, then they wouldn't come after your personal assets. Always consult a lawyer if you have more questions about that. I'm not giving out legal advice. And then you also need a business license in your state and in your county. So someone asked me, which I thought was a great question, if I'm working remotely, do I need to get a license in each state that I'm practicing in, or each state that I have clients in? And the answer to that, for my purposes and probably your purposes, are usually not. So it depends mainly on where your business is located, if you have offices in different states, and where you do the majority of your business, where the majority of your revenue comes from. So if you start to have offices in another state or employees in a different state, and you conduct a lot of business and a lot of meetings somewhere else than where you live, then at that point you want to start checking into different licenses that you may need and what exactly the rules are. But if you're like me, I live in Oregon and I have probably the majority of my clients are also located in Oregon. This is my only office space here. I'm my only employee for now, but I can have clients in other states. I've had clients in Arizona, in California, and Washington. So that is completely fine because my business is based in Oregon, but I just work remotely in other parts of the United States. The next thing you're going to want to think about is technology. So that goes for both the gear, like the stuff you have in your office that you use, as well as software that you use to run your business. So in terms of gear, you're of course going to need a good reliable computer. Some people like headphones, like noise canceling headphones, so they can, they won't be distracted by what is going on around them. Maybe you're really into wireless keyboards and wireless mouses, or maybe you want a second screen for your computer. Whatever you can get to make your space as comfortable as possible, just like you would be in like a nice office setting, is going to help you out a lot. As well as there's going to be a lot of different software pieces that you're going to use as a remote bookkeeper. Of course, you're going to use QuickBooks Online. That is what I recommend. You can also use QuickBooks Desktop and share the file that way. That gets a little more complicated. You may want to be using Google Docs or Google Spreadsheets to share information with clients. You're going to want a good video conferencing software like Zoom so you can talk with clients easily. Google Hangouts is another popular one. And I'm going to talk about some more that are for communication and security as I go down my list here. All right, so next is communicate. So this is really huge as a remote bookkeeper because you're not going to be seeing your clients face to face every day or every week. So it's going to be up to you to really make sure they understand what's going on and you clearly communicate any issues you have or any wins you have or any of that stuff, because you're not going to just be able to walk down the hall and talk to them. So you can kind of see what is preferable between both you and your client. Like if you guys like to text, that's fine. Or if you want to have a weekly conference call every Tuesday or whatever, think about how much you need to communicate. Put those things in the schedule so that you're able to do it. All right, and next up we have scheduling. So one of the great things about working remotely, of course, is you can create your own schedule. So if you like to get up early, you can work from 6 to noon, or if you're a night owl, you can work at night. If you like things totally silent, you can probably have that happen in your office, or if you like to work at a coffee shop and they're open, then you can do that. I have a whole video on block scheduling too. I'll leave it linked down below, but that is just breaking up your day into different blocks. And then every day you know what to expect during each block. So maybe you have a work block and then a personal block and an exercise block. So that is one scheduling tool as I found really effective. And one thing I just started doing this week, I heard from the Minimal Mom, take your 3 top priorities. So maybe think of them the night before. Take your 3 top priorities and put them on a sticky note. And it's important to put the amount of time it's going to take you. So maybe you want to answer 2 emails and it's going to take you 10 minutes. So write that on a sticky note, write the 10 minutes, and then put it in a really visible place where you can see it. And that does a couple of things. It's a very visual reminder. And then the other thing it does is it takes a 10-minute task and it doesn't drag it out all day. So if I have these 2 emails that are hanging over my head the whole day, it's kind of like taking up my brain space and it's like causing me a little bit of stress all day. Instead of having it drag all day to the end of the day, if I can just take that 10 minutes and do it first thing because it's one of my main priorities for the day, that frees up my brain space space and just creates a lot better energy for the day. And this kind of goes along with many minimalism principles. I know there's a 3-item to-do list, and then I think there's a 1-item to-do list. So the idea is just make sure you are prioritizing the most important things. The next thing on my list is find your network. So as a remote worker, you're not going to have people around you to be friends with or to commiserate with or to bounce ideas off of. So you need to find that in other places. So maybe you're able to find a group of bookkeepers in your area and meet with them once a month in a coffee shop and just talk about clients and talk through problems. You guys have heard me talk about Facebook groups a lot, so that I've found those to be really helpful just because there's such a depth of knowledge within those Facebook groups. It really is a supportive community that you can really feel a part of. Maybe you're able to go into your client's office every so often, once a week or so, and network with people and talk with people in there. Just make sure you're surrounded with people so that you are not lonely and you're able to find that support. Leave me a comment down below if you have a good idea of how to network that would help out the rest of the people in the comments. And then working remotely, you also need to be very aware of security, because there's not going to be security measures in place like you would have at a larger company. So you need to make sure you are putting those things in place. So when I first started bookkeeping, I was keeping everyone's passwords and I was getting so overwhelmed because I knew I needed to, really protect these passwords. So I did a bunch of research and I started using LastPass to put all my passwords in. And it's real easy because you have one password and then you can even organize them by different clients. So oftentimes I have multiple logins for different clients, either if they have different banks or credit cards or different areas I have to log in. So I can put them in like folders within LastPass, and then you can launch it from there and it just opens the website and then logs you in. And it also has the option to make strong passwords. And then I know you know a bunch of the password security things, but you want to ask yourself, are you doing them and are you doing them consistently? Things like not using the same password for different websites. You need to have a strong antivirus software and have it working on your computer. If you don't know what it is, look up what 2-factor authentication is, and that can help you just log in more easily, but with a lot of security. And be very, very careful with public Wi-Fi networks. I know right now it's so common to go to a coffee shop to work or go different places, go to the library. But as a bookkeeper, I now have a policy. I really do not use Wi-Fi networks that are public at all. And maybe if I was in a different industry, it wouldn't be as important. But as a bookkeeper, I am dealing with people's finances. So I just feel a very big responsibility not to have even the remote possibility that someone else is going to be able to see what I'm working on. And open Wi-Fi networks like that are the easiest for other people to get into. If you do want to work on an open network, but I believe you can use a VPN, or there's other different security measures you can take if you want or need to work on open Wi-Fi networks. As well as make sure your payments are processed securely. So you might be taking payments for clients from their customers. So if you're saving credit cards, you can save those in LastPass. You might need a locked file in your office. I know like HIPAA requirements requires 2 locks and everything. So you need to have a locked file and then a locked door on your office. So it might be industry specific, but look into what's needed and make sure you're taking those precautions. For when clients pay you, I recommended using the payment process that is in QuickBooks Online. It's already integrated in there and it is secure. I know programs like Venmo are not recommended for business. They're not designed for business. So I try not to use Venmo or similar things for my business. Leave me a comment down below if you have any other security ideas, because that is something I'm always trying to work on in my business. And next up, you want to minimize distractions. So one of the good and bad things about working from home is you can unload the dishwasher on a break, or you can put in a load of laundry and have it going as you're working. But you don't want to make that stuff distract you from your workday and get you totally off task. And in addition to things around your house, there's also a myriad of online distractions that can take you away from your work as well. You can do things like put your phone on airplane mode if you need like an hour or two of really consistent work. You can unplug your internet if you're not needing that for a while, if you're just making to-do lists or doing other things that don't require QuickBooks Online. On tons of programs now, like messenger programs, Facebook messages, you can mute it for a period of time so those distractions won't bother you. There's also different apps and websites that can track what you're doing, and so you can see how productive you're being and if anything's distracting you. I know there's one called Focus Me that I think it cuts off social media, so you can tell it which website you're not allowed to visit for a certain period of time, like during your workday. And then I also saw this other one called Paymo Plus, and it allows you to track what you're doing. So you're like, I'm doing marketing for my business now, and then I'm going to switch to doing this client work, and then I'm going to switch to some personal tasks I need to do. So anything you can do to be aware of your distractions and to minimize them, as well as think about your office space. I think it's been proven that people work better in a clean, clutter-free office space. As much as possible, try to do that, as well as you can work in different areas. Like maybe you need to get out of your house for a while, get out of your home office, or maybe you want to work in your kitchen or your living room. That is one good thing about being able to work remotely, is you can go where you like. And next, I want you to have some time that is unplugged. So for me, I actually started writing my to-do list on clipboards with pen and paper instead of making them on the computer. So that is just a time that my eyes get to rest away from my screen. I'm not plugged into my computer, and it's just like a change for my brain. So think about different things you can do that are off your computer. I don't know, maybe it's organizing your office, or maybe there's some filing work, or organizing a client's receipts if you keep receipts for them. Maybe it's getting out of your office and meeting with someone, or taking a walk around the block to clear your head. And there's been studies that you should get up for 5 minutes every hour, or just build in little breaks, maybe do some yoga for 10 minutes. Anything that can kind of help you relax throughout the day and recharge actually helps you be more productive. Because remember, you're not in an office setting, so in an office setting, there's all these little distractions. There's people always coming up to you. You know, you go to the kitchen area and grab a donut, get a snack, and chat with someone. So you're actually oftentimes able to be more efficient when you're working from home without those other people distracting you. So make sure you are taking time for those breaks that help you clear your mind. And then make sure you're creating a strong boundary between your work life and your personal life, because working from home, those can get really meshed. That was one of the things I had to really learn in the first couple of years I was working from home, because I felt like I was working all the time, but I wasn't being that productive. So now I really find it more beneficial if I can just dedicate time to work and then dedicate time to personal life. I saw this one YouTuber that worked from home, and I really like what she did. She, at the end of her day, she would, clean up her office space, and then she had something, I forget what it was. I think it was the bell she rung or something she did that was like clocking out. And then she would go out her office door and close the door behind her and turn off the light, and then she wouldn't enter the office again until the next day. So just things like that you can do to separate your work from your personal life. Even if it's silly or symbolic, do what works for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel, and a thumbs up helps me out a ton, and I'll be seeing you guys next week.